Yo, what's good? Griffin13 here back in the day, and today, guys, we are here to go over all the brand new and returning cars to Forza Horizon 4 with the Series 16 update. Now, for those guys unaware, Playground Games does their monthly live stream. This week was actually delayed, most likely due to XO19, but the thing is, though, is this month is going to be absolutely insane. I am so pumped for it. I cannot wait. Honestly, there is some really big news I'm going to just kind of throw out nonchalantly at the end of this video, but I did make a whole nother video on it where I am going absolutely bonkers on the subject. If you guys watched that live stream or you've been on Reddit or Twitter or anything like that, you probably already know what that news is. But without further ado, let's actually go ahead and get on into it. So I'm going to go ahead and start things off with the series reports. Coming in at 50% completion, you have the Lamborghini Aventador. Just the 2012, it's not the special one. You can actually go ahead and pick it up in the auto show for 310,000 credits. So I'm kind of wondering why this is here. Like, I mean, at least with the SV. Granted, they've kind of given us the SV a lot recently. I think at most, I actually had 5 at one given time. And I really should have sold a bunch of them because they were going for like 11 million apiece, and now they're like barely worth 1 mil. But that's beside the point, we're not even getting that car. But moving down to our 80% completion reward, we have the Ferrari 250 Testa Rosa. That is a $10 million car, so if you've not yet picked one of these up, you're definitely going to want to go ahead and complete 80% of the series. That is every single week, 80%. Honestly, this is going to be an absolutely amazing car. Actually, I do believe that this is a pretty damn good race car in A-Class. Don't hold me to it. Actually, it might even be halfway decent in S1 because looking at it right here, it's actually an A704 just to start off with, but I remember it being actually a pretty damn good car. Moving on into our first season, which is going to be summer, which will last from this November 21st, which is this upcoming Thursday, to the Thursday after, which is actually Thanksgiving, November the 28th. We will be having a brand new series, and honestly, so many cool new cars. And the car that everybody's been asking for freaking ever is going to be available this week. So that is a week you definitely want to be playing Forza. In fact, actually, just because this originally I wasn't even planning on taking my Xbox home, I'm taking my Xbox home just so I can actually do this challenge. Like, I mean, I'm going to do it just because of that. I really didn't want to do it, but it looks like that's exactly what I'm going to have to do. But starting things off in our 50% completion, by request, I guess, they're bringing back the Greenman outfit. Greenman! For those guys who don't know, Greenman is a character from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Charlie dresses up in a green skin-tight suit and essentially becomes a drug-fueled superhero, I guess you could really call it. But that's beside the point. Moving on to 80% completion, the Crown Victoria is making a return to the festival playlist, and that'll be available at 80% again. That car is pretty damn expensive, but it's been going down because they've been giving it out quite frequently. It's a wheel spin exclusive. I've gotten it a couple times in the wheel spin. I've also got a couple times in the festival playlist. Honestly, I don't know how much it's worth anymore. I really don't. But because it is a Crown Vic, usually these things have been holding their value pretty damn good. Moving on into our seasonal co-op trial event comes the car that everyone has been asking for. The brand new Ferrari 488 Pista. That's right, guys, the Pista is coming back. I did find out that, yes, this was confirmed. I made a video on it not too long ago. It gets like 50 more horsepower than the 488 GTB. Not that much more torque. It loses like 400 pounds, which is like 2 Americans, god damn it. But, I mean, it's absolutely insane. It definitely has a much more aggressive stance and a much more aggressive arrow to it. The thing is, I never thought we were going to get this because the 488 GTB was already in the game. I was so shocked that we actually ended up getting this car. Moving on, though, we have the Honda Prelude, the 1994 Honda Prelude, which is an exclusive, believe it or not. It's like one of the cheapest exclusives, though. Like, I'm really shocked about it. But that'll be available from our Playground Games during summer. Going down the line, we also have the return of a couple of other cars. We have the Mclaren 600 LT in Dancing in the Street Scene, the 2004 Honda Civic, which is a wheel spin exclusive in the Grand Moor, and the KTM Crossbow GT4, which hasn't been around for a little while, is going to make another comeback in Old Timers. That 600 LT is dope, though. I will say that is dope. We just got that like 2 series ago. I'm really surprised to see it come back again. After that, we move into autumn, which will last from November the 28th, aka Thanksgiving again, all the way to December 5th, so we are now getting into the Christmassy season. You know, Thanksgiving's over, time to celebrate the holidays. And honestly, guys, we start off with a brand new car. This is the Ferrari 512S. I've never heard of this car before. I feel like we already have a 512 in the game of some kind. Like, I feel like there is some kind of 512 that has been in Forza. But honestly, kind of looking at Ferrari here in Forza Horizon 4, we don't have any kind of 512 yet. But honestly, this thing is a beast. Apparently, it was overpowered for back in the day. But to make up for that, the reason why it had to be overpowered was because it was heavier than some of the other cars it was facing, like Porsche. But supposedly, they were actually pretty tightly together. Like, in the races, they were actually getting fairly similar results, which really kind of proves, you know, it is more power and more weight better than less power and less weight. You know, it's just, you never know. That is such like a big dynamic. I've always been more of a fan of, you know, lighting your cars as much as possible, and if that requires, you know, taking away a little bit of power, then do so. But I mean, like, just a little bit of power in something that weighs almost nothing is extraordinary. Like 100 horsepower in something that weighs less than 1,000 pounds. Like, god damn, that thing is fast. Like, it is so damn good. So that really is going to be an answer to a question right there. At 80%, you have the Alien Morph suit, which is actually what I'm wearing right now in game. Moving on to the seasonal co-op trial event, you have the Plymouth Fury, aka Christine. It's been a while since we saw her. And for the Playground games, you can pick up the Mercedes X-Class, which I felt like you could pick up the X-Class this last series. So kind of weird that they're doubling down on that car. Other cars that you're able to actually pick up this season, or this season and that week, is going to be the 2010 Volkswagen Golf R, which is a Wheelspin exclusive. That car is pretty damn good. As well, you'll be able to pick up a Hummer H1, which I believe is also a Wheelspin exclusive. I'm not entirely sure though on that one. But apparently, the rarest car in all of Forza Horizon 4 is also going to be made available during this week, which is the Fiat Dino. I had no idea that that car was so rare. So I will say this, if you have one and you plan on doing all these challenges, I would actually go ahead and just, you know, pick up the damn thing. I would take your car and throw it up on the auction house ASAP, because that thing is probably worth a damn good amount of money if it is actually the rarest car. They said there's only like 2,000 players that actually have it, which is insane. So if you have one of them, if you're lucky enough to have one of them, may want to throw it up on the auction house. So then we go ahead and move on into winter, which is going to have a brand new showcase remix, which is called the Morning Rush. And that is essentially going to be ISIS taxis, but you're going to be racing the Flying Scotsman. So that is going to be a brand new showcase remix. Coming in at 50% though, we also have another brand new car, this time being the ATS GT. So not just a new car, but a new brand. Now, ATS actually originally started as an Italian company back in the 60s, and then they went bankrupt almost immediately. So back in 2017 though, they revitalized themselves, and now you have the ATS GT as well. They just announced like an actual race car just recently, so that is pretty cool as well. But the ATS GT is actually surprisingly based on a McLaren. It's an Italian designed car, but it has the same motor as the 720S, which is kind of funny at the same time. Going in at 80% completion, speaking of McLaren, you'll be able to pick up the MP4-12C. It's been a while since we've seen that car too. For the seasonal co-op trial event, you can pick up the ski hat, no one cares. And for Playground games, you'll be able to pick up one of my favorite vehicles, which is the Colorad ZR2, a vehicle that I almost bought in real life. I really hope that they bring the Toyota Tacoma. Oh shit, I already spoiled it right there. I was gonna say that at the end that, you know, Toyota's coming back, but I guess, hey, it's gonna be coming back in the next season anyway. But, you know, I really hope that they bring the Toyota Tacoma in, because that would be great competition for that car. Then as well, during this week, you will pick up the Jeep Cherokee SRT, the Ford F-150 Liberty design, and the McLaren 720S Spider. Like, I feel like those cars just came out. Like the F-150 and the 720S, weren't those like 2 series ago? They just came out. I could have swore it has not been that long. It has not been that long, but they are going to be making a comeback. The F-150, the Barracks design, of course, is a pre-runner truck, and the 720S Spider, well, it's a 720S without a roof. You guys already know that. Then finally, we get into spring, which is going to last from December 12th through December 19th. And for 50% completion, we get another brand new car. Now, this one did make its debut in Forza Motorsport 7 for the Xbox One. I believe it was actually also available in some of the Xbox 360 games, but I'm not entirely sure on that. I haven't looked it up in a while. But it is the Lamborghini Diablo GTR. We got this car back in Forza Motorsport 7. Been kind of waiting to see when it would actually make its way into Horizon 4. In fact, a lot of you guys on my clue thread guessed. A lot of you guys were actually guessing the Lamborghini Diablo GTR. I really should have thought about that. Like, I completely forgot about that car, you know, because we got the Diablo in here. We got the Diablo GTR, though, in Motorsport 7, and I just completely forgot about it until a lot of people started mentioning it. I went, you know, that probably would be a likely car. That is very, very likely, because my guess was the Performante. Honestly, I think I would have rather had the Performante than the Pista, but that's beside the point. Moving on to 80%, you have the Lotus Elise 111S, which is a pretty dope car. I've always been a big fan of Lotus. I don't know why. Like, I think it's because it's like the real first sports car I ever saw. I guess you could say the first sports car I ever saw was actually like a Lotus or a Corvette. I mean, if you want to consider Corvette, here in the States, they're a dime a dozen. They're freaking everywhere. Then for our seasonal co-op trial event, you can pick up the 1996 Chevrolet Impala. So you'll actually be able to get both police cars this time around. You can get the Impala and the Crown Vic during this series. For the Playground Games, I almost did not say that right. You can pick up the 1973 Pontiac Trans Am. Honestly, I actually got a really good design for that. I really like my design. It's very Americana-esque. I really enjoy it. As well, you'll also be able to pick up the 2011 Ford Raptor, which I believe is a Wheelspin exclusive, the Buick GSX, and of course, the Volkswagen IDR. Yeah, you did not expect that one to be available already, did ya? Like, that car just came out as well. Like, I feel like every single car that came out in Series 14 was made available this time around, because I feel like, I may be wrong on this. We had the McLaren 600 LT, you had the Verity Design Pre-Runner, the McLaren 720S, and the IDR. Like, I feel like all those cars were just released in, like, Series 14, and they're all being made available again here in Series 16. So now let's actually talk about a feature that is going to be coming up. I believe it's going to last from, like, midday November 28th to midday November the 30th. And this is going to be a Black Friday sales event happening in Forza Horizon 4. So that is pretty dope. And by midday, of course, we got to talk about UK time. So for them, their Black Friday event is going to start midday for them. For us here in the States, like, I'm going to be in the Eastern time zone at that time. So that's about 5 hours behind. So when it goes live at like noon, it's actually going to be like 7 a.m. So it's going to just kind of suck for us here in the States. But every 3 hours, the Forzathon shop is going to update with special deals on rare cars. And in fact, some of these cars are going to be extremely cheap. As well as some of the limited edition pre-order cars or other pre-order cars that maybe you weren't able to get your hands on will also be available in the Forzathon shop at this time. Every 3 hours, they are going to switch. So you need to make sure that you're on, check it every now and then. Some of the cars that are going to be available that we know is the Alfa Romeo Giulia TZ2, which is normally a $10 million car. No, it's a $2 million car, I believe. And it's going to be available for only 175 Forzathon points. Then as well, we have the Koenigsegg CCX for 200 Forzathon points. And then the Mac Daddy of them all, like, this one is shocking how cheap it's going to be. The Apollo IE is going to be available for just 100 Forzathon points. So, bye-bye Apollo IE prices. Oh, they are going to crash so damn fast. So damn fast. Like, I saw over on the Reddit page, somebody bought like 100 of them. Like, they got rid of a bunch of cars in their garage, and they bought 100 Apollo IEs to sell. Oh my god, they're going to crash so damn quick. Other news, we also have a quick select auction in the auction house, or a quick select option in the auction house, my dudes. I cannot talk today. I really cannot. But essentially, how you can go ahead and move to your manufacturers really quickly in your garage and all that sort of stuff. You'll be able to do that now in the auction house, which apparently was a very, very highly requested feature. We also have new subtitles that have been brought into the game that are going to make them easier to read for normal people. And then finally, we actually have this weird thing going on where we had this picture right here show up, and no one knows really what it is. It might be a new Horizon story. It maybe is going to be like a new expansion, a new mode of some kind. Who knows what on earth this is actually going to be. I'll probably make my own video kind of speculating, but that's all we really know about it from right now. And of course, like I said earlier, Toyota's back. Yay! Woohoo! Oh my god, I can't contain my excitement. So anyway, though, that's where we're going to wrap things up for today. If you guys want to, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at twitter.com/Grip413 and Instagram.com/Grip413. And if you like this video, go make sure to hit that like button down below for us, because you guys already know your support is so greatly appreciated. And make sure to subscribe to me, where it's coming out all the time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. Bye.